In 2018, I used for the first time a Shelly 1 Generation 1 for the first time to open my garage door with my phone from anywhere. It was an incredible simple installation, but back then there was no AI and nowhere near as much information as there is today. We were just taking our first steps into the amazing world of home automation and smart home. Since then, 8 years have passed and we have learned a lot and we had a lot of fun. Shortly afterwards, I started using my first generation Shelly 1 PM to measure how much energy each of my microinverter based solar PV systems were producing individually. They were always tiny devices, incredibly easy to fit inside any junction box. I was then able to remotely switch my thermosiphon water heater on and off and schedule when it heated the water using nothing more than first generation Shelly 1 PM. And as if that wasn't enough, I connected a temperature probe so that I could monitor the water temperature in real time and better control the energy. I also shared a whole series of tutorial videos covering everything I learned, showing how anyone could install one of these devices at home and use it in countless ways. Sometimes I even played electrician, drawing diagrams to explain how everything was connected. But for those that had an electrical water heater instead of a thermosiphon system, we built a different custom-made temperature probe, much smaller, and with the help of the first generation Shelly 1 PM, I could also monitor my water heater temperature directly on my phone. Smart water heaters weren't a thing. Today they are a bit more common, but back then they weren't, and Shelly had the solution, still as today. Then came the very first Shelly plug, basically the Shelly 1 PM for lazy people or people that didn't want to deal with wiring. If you didn't want to touch any cables, you simply plugged it into a wall socket and you could schedule to switch on or off whenever you wanted, which was more than enough for heaters, electric water heaters, and even thermosiphon systems. Now, back in 2020, I did install the first generation Shelly AM, which allowed me to monitor both my home's total electricity consumption and also the total production from all my microinverter solar systems. Installation was incredibly simple and the measurements were very accurate. And if I could choose only one single device from all of the Shelly devices that I've got and I love, Shelly AM would be the one, because although there are some devices which are incredible, for me, Shelly AM is the best of all. Then came the first motion sensor and smart lighting setup, allowing your lights to turn on automatically whenever you walked into a room. Today that's completely normal, but a few years ago it felt even more impressive than AI. Around that time, for the first time, I and several other home automation enthusiasts were invited to appear on a Shelly live stream, which was an amazing experience. And we were now able to easily monitor temperature and humidity on different rooms in our home using a range of sensors. Some were larger with built-in displays showing the readings, while others were tiny. Combined with a simple Shelly smart plug, they allowed you to automatically switch heaters on and off based on the temperature of your living room or your bedroom. Soon afterwards, I integrated all my Shelly devices into Home Assistant, and with tools like Grafana, I built some really nice dashboards where I could monitor solar production, energy consumption, the water temperature of my electric water heater and thermosiphon system, and even beautiful historical graphics. And today is a lot easier than it was back in 2019 or 2020, because we didn't had any AI, but it was a lot of fun and Shelly simplified everything that we needed. You could now receive notifications on your phone every time a door or a window was open or closed using Shelly door and window sensors. It also became possible to receive alerts on your phone if you had any kind of flood or even a very small water leak. Then Shelly introduced the smart DIN rail relay that could be installed directly inside our electrical panel. Simple models like the Shelly Pro 1 PM could control a single circuit, while devices such as the Shelly Pro 4 PM allowed us to control up to 4 separate circuits. Then came the mini generation, the Shelly 1 PM Mini, Shelly 1 Mini and Mini EM. These made life much easier for anyone dealing with tight spaces behind sockets or switches, allowing installation in places where previously it wasn't easy enough. Today there are many more devices. For example, you can easily install Shelly Plus smoke detectors through your home, and if a fire starts, you will immediately receive a notification on your phone so that you can react quickly and hopefully prevent something much worse. Water leak detection has advanced a lot. With the Shelly Flood Generation 4, you can now monitor much larger areas and detect even small water leaks before they become a problem. You can even water your plants or your potatoes with the Shelly Smart Valve. You can schedule watering times, monitor water flow and consumption, and even automate everything based on temperature, humidity, or rainfall. You can easily transform your home's lights so that even if you only have one single light switch, you can add as many switches as you want without drilling any holes or running any new wiring. Wireless switches can be placed exactly where they are most convenient and can even be used like a remote control. Shelly's presence sensors are smart enough now to know that you are still in the room and keep the lights on even when you are just sitting perfectly still. They also know when you left and can even distinguish between one person and multiple people. And with Shelly Shutter, we can fully control our blinds. Really easy to install and easy to use. One of the simplest ways that I'm aware that I can control my blinds and schedule to my needs. And of course, almost every one of those early projects has now been updated, from remotely opening the garage door to monitoring the temperature of my water that you use to shower. There have been countless improvements, which means that it seems amazing today, but if it seems amazing today, can we really imagine how it will be tomorrow? But more exciting than solving one single problem with one single device is that when we have several devices, including sensors and whatnot, we will be able to make them talk to each other. So if I've got this sensor right over here and this plug, I'm able to tell this plug to turn on or off based on the temperature and the humidity. There are a lot of things that we can do, and the only limitation is our own imagination and of course the physical limitations that each of the device has. 8 years have passed. Happy birthday, Shelly. The last 8 years have been really exciting, and I imagine that the next 8 years will not be less exciting than it was. Discounts are on its way, so I will leave some suggestions down below, some links that you can check out and see if it's the price that you were looking for the device that you were waiting for. Hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did so, don't forget the usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto Jorge, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.